Again, TMI Tuesday.
I'm gonna drink my water.
This one.
I want to run away.
Guys, why do you embarrass us so much? Okay, so I've heard it been said that if everyone were a long distance runner, constipation would not exist. Would you agree that that might be true?
Might be. I think it's been proven multiple times.
Okay, so when I first started getting into running, which was actually quite a few years ago, I had to start Googling this, and I found oodles and oodles of information. That essentially when you start doing long distance running, all of a sudden you become very regular. They call it runner's trots. We know all the places to stop and use the bathroom.
And what time of the day to run.
What time of the day to run. And
ooh, do you remember was it Taco Bell? Was that the Taco Bell run?
Do you remember the time you were banging on the door of closed businesses asking to come in?
This is what we tell people. If you see Sarah and Kelly running into a fast food restaurant, like our hair is on fire, we are not excited about a chimichanga, people.
It's like the worst thing you can have at that moment.
Gotta go! Okay,
So, basically, if you are starting to be a distance runner and you're noticing this, you are not alone. Here's our advice. We will actually plan, like we would say early in the morning, about 6 to 7 to 8 miles in, I will need to use the restroom. Well, let's make sure we're by Walmart.
Yep.
Or remember the time we were running to the airport?
I swear, on that run, I got to the crest of the hill and I was like, oh, I can make it. The airport's just right there. Airport is not just right there. I'm talking like, oh my God. It's like from here to Lander. I'm never going to make it. We made it. It wasn't pretty, but we made it.
It was bad. So
it was both of us that time, which was really funny.
It was like,
usually it's just one of us, and it's like, really, come on. But that time it was both
killing
of us.
my time, Kelly. So
what can we do about it?
What can we do about it? One of the things I learned for myself is when you're doing early morning is usually when you're going to run into this problem the most.
Yes.
Because most of us have our ritual. And so I actually would set my alarm an hour before we wanted to wake up, which is brutal, but it's worth it to avoid the ditch. Like, seriously, it's worth it. That one time I was like, Sarah, I'm going to be on the front page of the paper, mother of 5, arrested for indecent exposure.
Yeah.
So I would wake up an hour beforehand and I would drink it would really not even be half a Gatorade, a couple swallows of Gatorade and like part of a protein bar, and then I'd go back to sleep. And I would wake up again, and that was enough to get my digestive system going, and it wasn't a problem.
Yeah. I just have to get up and move. I mean,
yes.
I just have to.
I
can't just throw my shoes on and run when I know I'm going to go that long.
Yeah.
So.
And then also you're training your legs and your body for endurance. You're also training the other parts of your body.
Your digestive system is training to handle those kinds of miles.
Here comes the mailman.
Do we dare continue to talk?
It's a long walk.
It is a long walk.
Thank you.
We got mail.
Should we film him?
Yeah, it is out. So we won't talk about it in front of one person, but we share
it
it with the entire thing of Facebook.
We're weird.
Okay.
I had another thought, but I can't remember what it was now.
I always, and one thing that you really have to be careful of, too, is when you run into this problem, is that it can lead into other problems if you, the good hygiene is just really important, you guys. I mean, if you are experiencing the runner's trots, that you're packing something with you. So in my running belt on our 14, 16-mile runs, I always have a baby wipe or 2, just mainly because if you do have to stop, you
want to be clean.
Clean hygiene, women. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to avoid yeast infections. You want to avoid the crack rash. That's bad. You don't want that for a long period of time. Topic for another day. Talk about crack rash later.
So it is an issue. You're not alone. My second half marathon I ran behind a woman who pooped her pants.
Yeah. And I know, and sometimes you guys, you just have to be aware that your body may even do it and you don't even know it's happening. I mean, sometimes it just happens.
Don't let this discourage you from running. Like, maybe we should have said, if you're not a runner yet, don't watch this yet.
Disclaimer before we post it.
If you're not a runner, don't watch this.
Yes.
It's worth it.
But we also know when you start hitting those miles and you're by yourself, it's good to know these things.
Yeah.
So that's
there
all.
you go. That was fun.
Okay.
See ya.